We're back on Smells Like 90's Rock. It's Sheila, Hot Toddy, and DJ Pork. So what's going on in everybody else's world?
What do you mean?
What's happening with you guys? I know Pork is moving on Friday, or has moved on whatever. We're recording this on Wednesday. He will move on Friday.
I will have moved by the time this airs. But
right.
Until now, I'm just kind of like slowly getting all my stuff together to make the move as easy as possible. And
right.
That's pretty much been my life the last week.
And me, it's been unpacking and putting stuff up. Sheila, what's new with you?
Just reading. Like I have nothing exciting going on.
I'm sad. All of our lives are sad. And of course,
yes.
We just have nothing going on.
It could be worse.
We could be in a cult.
Yes.
And that is a best case scenario thing for me.
Or you could be having to move your apartment because they, gave it up on you.
Because there's a spare tire in the one I have currently.
I'm okay with moving, just for the sake of, although, new roommates, new set, I don't know who I'm getting, so this, maybe it's the whole the devil you don't know thing.
So I guess I misunderstood earlier when you were talking about, not earlier in the show, but before. You're not getting your own apartment. You're moving in with new roommates.
Exactly.
Because the roommates you currently have, they're not going anywhere?
One of them is not going anywhere.
And it's Spare Tire Man?
Yes.
Could you imagine moving in and the first thing you see is a spare tire in your living room?
No, I cannot.
Well, Hot Toddy, you'll see. It's not just a spare tire.
No, I'm sure. I know. I believe you. I'm sure there's.
Yeah, your next roommate's going to be making moonshine in the bathtub. I can't shower.
There's a bicycle in the living room, which doesn't sound that weird, but there used to be 3 bicycles in the living room.
So what's Livin lives with you?
Yeah, you would think, but
let him move in.
That's right. Oh, that's true. I forgot. That was almost a possibility. You put a stop to that real fast.
Yep.
That was the greatest.
I'm not living.
Because you ran up and you said, someone I work with is going to try to apply. Tell him no.
I didn't say tell him no. I said he's not moving in with me if he's. I just told him we don't. I just said we don't get along, which we get along fine, but at a certain point, I'm sure we would not get along because he's very, very, very like his bikes would start getting in the way. Yeah, it'd be a problem.
There's just so many. There's so many bikes. See, you would have your own problem. Like we have the board games and the hats. You'd have the bikes. That would be yours.
You want to be a biker. It's just all around him constantly.
Yeah, you want to be a bike person. That's true.
Why is there a bike in the bathtub?
It's to keep the moonshine from spoiling. That's what them tires be doing.
If I know Wood's living, he would store all his stuff in the apartment, but he'd probably still sleep outside.
He'd probably still store some of his stuff outside.
Not the bike.
One thing about Wood's living, this is not fair.
Yeah.
No, it's not fair, but I think I told this story where somebody from work gave him a ride home, and he's like, "Oh, hey, stop next to this vacant lot. I need to pick up something." He climbed over a fence, got his bike out of a bush that was on the other side, and threw it over the fence, and then got back in the car.
I would never have stopped the car.
No.
Personally. If he's like, stop, I gotta go get something, like, nah, man, you're gonna have to come back for it.
Once people start directing the car, if I'm giving a ride to somebody and they start directing the car, I say nope.
Nope.
We're not going. We're not making any unscheduled pit stops.
No, thank you.
It's that's how you end up at drug deals.
Yep, yes it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I just got to run in here and get something from my friend. Hell no, you're not getting back in my car with that. Because the kind of person that does that is not the kind of person that's going to take their own dime. Like, they're going to be like, I don't know whose that is.
Exactly.
When I was on the air a few years ago, I got a call from somebody I don't even remember what the prompt was, but and it was something along the lines of, what's the worst thing a friend's done to you, or something like that. Anyway, a friend of this person who called said he had to go to his uncle's house, and he said, okay, they were out hanging out, and he said, I got to go to my uncle's house, and he went up to the uncle's house, and it was a shady place, to say the least. And what they ended up walking in, what the guy ended up driving him to, was a crack deal gone wrong, and there was yelling, there was throwing, but there was no guns, thank God. So, and the caller lived to tell the tale. But yeah, that's what happened. So you don't let them stop places. You don't let the driver stop, and if you are the driver, don't stop on a dime. Don't tell the person you will stop, because that's not. It won't end well.
Yeah,
I think that I would have left that person the second I started seeing this crack deal going wrong.
Yeah, when you saw there was a crack deal, period.
Yeah, I don't think I've been like, well, I sure hope this works out.
Then
like,
you saw,
your tire twilling, be like, bye, bitch.
And you're like, oh, this is going south fast. Maybe I should I? No, I'll stay. I'll wait for him because he needs a ride, for heaven's sake.
He's right. Like, well, he is a really nice guy.
I was about to say, he's a really great guy.
That almost happened to me one time.
Wait, what?
Well, I gave one of my roommates, previous roommates, his friend had been staying in the apartment for a few days. I thought he was just kind of staying. I thought he was in town on vacation or something. And at one point, my roommate was like, hey, can you give me a ride to the ATM? And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I gave it to him, and his friend tagged along for some reason. He got out of the car, and while I was waiting, I asked his friend, I was like, hey, so where do you live at, man? And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Oh, like, that's not a random question.
He's like, well, I'm kind of like living at your place right now. I'm like, oh my God. But then he got back in the car and we started driving back to the apartment, and he started going like, hey, yeah, turn left here. I'm like, what do you mean turn left here?
Yeah, you live.
He's
with
like,
me?
yeah, I just need you to stop by this other place. I'm like, nope. You do that on your own time. We're going back to the apartment.
Do it on your own time.
Do it on your own time.
When your break comes up.
Yeah. Oh man, Pork, you may not have been here to tell that story if you have gone down that route.
Yeah, that could be very true.
Yeah, but he really is a great guy, though.
No, this guy, I don't care.
Oh wow, there's one person that's not a great guy.
This is not a great person. This is a bad person.
So you wouldn't feel bad for him if he went to jail?
No, I would not.
No, I would not. Did that person eventually? Well, I'm assuming that person eventually left your home, right?
Yep. Yeah, eventually.
Eventually. How long did this person live with you on vacation?
I think they were there for maybe like another week. I don't remember.
Dang.
Before their friend was like, you gotta go. Like, you're annoying me.
So they found the next leg in the couch surfing circuit, I guess. Whatever.
It takes time. You got to find that. You got to find that next round. So yeah, it makes sense.
Did he come in with like a trash bag and like belongings? Like, I mean, or was he just living out of a backpack?
No, he had like a suitcase. So it didn't seem completely suspicious right off the bat, but I should have asked more questions.
Yeah,
I saw him sleeping on the couch.
Always, if you take anything away from this week's episode, always ask questions. Always make sure you know and say no when you don't feel comfortable.